President William Ruto says his administration has completed the difficult task of stabilizing Kenya's economy and is now shifting its attention to the country's next chapter of economic transformation. In a special national address, the president said the government's first term has been defined by efforts to restore fiscal discipline, strengthen the country's economic fundamentals, and shield Kenyans from the impact of both domestic and global economic pressures. Ruto argues that the reforms implemented over the past 4 years have helped restore macroeconomic stability, rebuild investor confidence, and create an environment capable of supporting long-term economic growth.
According to the Working Group on Kenya's transition to First World status, the plan to developing a new vision for Kenya will be driven by 3 pillars. The 3 being agricultural productivity, high value and agro-processing, industrialization through intensive manufacturing for regional exports and technology and innovation economy. The working group is proposing for the government to develop supportive policies and incentivize the private sector to play a central role in transformation. The Professor Nyong'o-led team is also proposing ways to achieve the first world nation based on the pillars by boosting productivity through better seeds, irrigation, and research, and expand extension services. Support farmers through incentive for productivity and removal of policy barriers has also been highlighted as part of the plan. On the transformation of manufacturing, the group proposes building of competitive industries and encouraging private investment, affordable productive credit, and investment in technology and infrastructure. On innovation, research, and skills, as well as linkages to universities with industry, are among the ways to transformation proposed as the country moves to expand technology-driven production and increased high-value exports. And with the proposed priority of agriculture, industry, and technology, the working group says this will be driven by supported infrastructure and innovation. The technology pillar will also accelerate digital transformation, invest in AI and innovation, strengthen skills and research, and expand innovation funding. These, the group says, will be enabled by merit-based public service, investment in people, building of productive infrastructure, and strengthening of financial systems and deepened devolution.
Development, therefore, is not simply a policy preference of those who govern. It is a constitutional imperative for the governed. While the Constitution's preamble commits us to build a nation founded on human rights, equality, freedom, democracy, social justice, and the rule of law, Article 10 of our Constitution speaks to patriotism, integrity, accountability, and sustainable development as among our highest national
The new Vision
values.
2060 seeks to replace Vision 2030, which is almost lapsing. The vision is aimed at addressing inconsistent development with limit progress disrupted by political and economic crises where reforms are rarely sustained. It has also been informed by a strong and potential but weak implementation where transformation remains elusive. Kenya has had persistent challenges such as poverty, disease, and inequality, with more investment in health and education which is needed. President William Ruto says this is the way to first world ambition, which will transform Kenya into a developed economy and requires bold reforms and strong leadership.
Such a development charter will succeed when anchored on strong institutions, institutions that enable rather than obstruct, that solve problems rather than multiply, that encourage enterprise rather than frustrate, and that make it easier for people to work, invest, innovate, build, and create wealth.
Kenya is picking lessons from South Korea, Singapore, and China, which transformed rapidly. The country boasts to have once led Africa in growth and stability and a strong foundation for transformation.